about the only thing the Trump administration has been successful with, other than cutting taxes for the already wealthy, is deregulating this entire country. I mean, that's been their whole platform since day one. Deregulate, undo all of the good things Obama had done, and let corporations just have their run of the country, doing whatever they want, dumping whatever they want into our water, onto our soil, into the air, wherever it is, just dump away. We're going to deregulate you. And the few regulations we have in place, don't worry about it, because we're not even going to enforce those. According to a new report by the Associated Press, enforcement efforts at the Environmental Protection Agency last year fell by more than half. And that was after most of them had already fallen significantly in Trump's first year in office. But the second year in office, 2018, they fell even more. And here's what's important to remember. This is not because polluters cleaned up their acts. It's not because they decided they were going to be good corporate citizens from now on. It's just because the EPA decided to do what they called take a new tact and just work with these companies instead of fining them or enforcing rules. We're going to work with them, educate them is what they said on what they should be doing. And then just never bother to follow up and see if they're actually doing it is the second part that they didn't say out loud. Here's some stats. Let me read this here. Declines include civil investigations carried out by the agency, the EPA, which fell to just 22 last year, down from 40 in 2017. Criminal fines and restitutions also tumbled. We had $207 million in 2016, $3 billion with a B in 2017, but that's only because $2.8 billion of that was from Volkswagen's settlement for their emissions scandal, which had been in the works for years before Trump came to office. So that one doesn't even count. And then last year, after averaging minus Volkswagen about $200 million per year, last year, $86 million. The federal government took in $86 million from corporate polluters. That is the sum total of all the fines last year from pipeline spills, from oil by rail disasters, from coal ash spills, from chemical companies dumping their toxins and giving tens of thousands of people cancer. $86 million is what the federal government fined them total. This is not the way to sustain a country. These chemicals that we are getting exposed to, whether it's coal ash, fracking chemicals, PFOAs in our water, 110 million people, a third of this country drinking these chemicals that will give you cancer. We're on the fast track to killing roughly 1/3 of the United States population. And the Trump administration doesn't care. The EPA has stopped enforcing the rules. Right now, especially with all the talk of the Green New Deal, this should be a bigger story. This should be the biggest story in the country today. Because it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, corporate toxins do affect low-income Americans more than they affect high-income Americans, but they still do affect high-income Americans, just not as much. But it does affect every one of us eventually. This is something all of us are going to have to deal with and live with. Because when 1 out of every 3 people are drinking on a regular daily basis chemicals that give you cancer, we're going to have to deal with that too. It could be your spouse. It could be your child. It could be your mother, your father, your sister, your best friend, your coworker, your boss. It could be you drinking that water. 1 out of 3 isn't very good odds for any of us. And we could fix that easily. We could put a stop to it today. But the EPA refuses to do it because they believe that corporations have more rights than American citizens. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now You can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.